What if the ultimate secret to like a highly productive, organized life isn't this massive 3-hour routine? You know, the ones with an ice bath, a red light therapy panel, and 40 different organic supplements.
Right, yeah. It
It's,
sounds completely counterintuitive when you phrase it that way, honestly.
it really does. But what if the most scientifically sound way to start your day is actually hidden inside a brief audio guide designed for people who are just learning to speak English?
I mean, we're so conditioned to believe that better results require more complex inputs. We
Exactly.
see these highly engineered morning routines online all the time, and we just assume that optimization equals success, right?
It's become this bizarre arms race. Like it sets this expectation that if you aren't performing a perfectly calibrated scientific experiment on yourself by 6 in the morning, well, you're fundamentally failing at life.
Yeah, you're already behind before you even start.
Right. You're behind. But we are doing a deep dive today into a piece of source material that completely shatters that illusion.
Oh, it really does.
We're looking at a video transcript from an English listening practice channel. It's specifically from a channel called Show English Listening, and the video is called Morning Habits for a Fresh Start.
And it's so interesting because of the format.
Yeah, because this text is designed for language learners, the vocabulary is incredibly distilled. I mean, there is zero fluff in here.
None at all. And the format of the source kind of dictates this accidental brilliance, honestly.
Right.
Because the creators had to make the concepts accessible to someone just grasping the language. They couldn't hide behind jargon.
Right. No big scientific buzzwords.
Exactly. They couldn't rely on overly complex biological theories to sell a lifestyle.
Mm.
They had to strip the concept of a morning routine down to its absolute bare psychological and physiological studs.
Just the bare studs.
Yeah. And we're left with only the most fundamental human needs here. So, quiet, hydration, movement, fresh air, and intention.
The bare studs of a good morning. I love that. It makes you realize how much of modern self help is just like decoration on top of those basic needs.
It really is mostly decoration.
So, the mission of our deep dive today is to explore the mechanics of this super straightforward 5-step approach. We're going to look at why these specific, ultra simple habits are highlighted by the source as the ultimate catalyst for an organized, healthy life.
And how you can actually use them.
Exactly. How you, listening to this right now, can apply this back to basics approach to your own mornings.
So before we even touch on what to actually do with your morning, the source text forces us to address the environment.
Right, the very first step.
The very first directive is about when we begin. It states, and I quote, "Try to wake up early, around 5 to 6 a.m."
Which is rough for a lot of people.
It is. But the justification it provides is so fascinating. It doesn't tell you to wake up at 5 a.m. so you can get more work done than your competitors or, so you can hustle harder.
Uh-huh.
It simply says early morning is quiet and peaceful.
Quiet and peaceful. It's such a remarkably gentle justification for an action that a lot of people find, frankly, physically agonizing. Oh, totally agonizing. Waking up at 5 a.m. is tough.
It really is. But that phrasing immediately made me think about the feeling of arriving at a movie theater before anyone else gets there.
Oh, that's a great way to put it.
Right, like the lights are still up just a bit, the aisles are completely empty, and it's just silent.
You have your pick of the seats.
Exactly. You pick your seat, you arrange your snacks,
Yeah.
you just settle in, you own the space before the crowds arrive, and the chaos begins.
The movie theater analogy captures the emotional resonance of that early hour perfectly.
Mm,
You are claiming the territory of your day before anyone else can plant a flag in it.
yeah. But let me throw a hypothesis at you regarding this specific 5 to 6 a.m. window, because I want to unpack this a bit.
Okay, let's hear it.
It seems to me that the source is talking about establishing a psychological buffer. So basically, you're building a wall between your waking brain and the demands of your inbox.
Yeah.
Because if you wake up at 7:30 a.m. when the emails are already there and the kids are already awake, well, the wall is breached instantly.
But at 5 a.m., the wall holds. Is that the underlying mechanism here? Is it really about beating the noise?
That is the exact mechanism. You were talking about the difference between a reactive state and a proactive state.
Okay, right.
Think about the physiological event of an alarm clock going off for most people. The alarm blares, they jolt awake, and immediately they are thrust into reaction mode.
Yeah, totally.
The commute needs to be navigated, the news on the TV is screaming about a crisis, the dog needs to be let out, the brain is instantly processing external demands.
You're putting out fires from the second your feet hit the floor.
Precisely. And your nervous system spikes into this low-grade fight-or-flight state.
Wow, right.
By carving out that 5 to 6 a.m. window where it is explicitly quiet and peaceful, as the text notes, you're manufacturing a period where you literally do not have to react to anything.
Because nobody is emailing you at 5:15 a.m. expecting an immediate response.
Exactly. Starting your day in a state of manufactured peace rather than a state of external alarm fundamentally shifts your nervous system's baseline.
That makes so much sense.
It actually lowers your resting cortisol levels for the hours that follow. And the source explicitly claims that by doing this, your whole day feels better.
So it's not just a nice idea, it's biological.
Right. It's not magic. It's just a nervous system that hasn't been thrown into overdrive before sunrise.
Okay, so we've secured the perimeter. We have our quiet movie theater. But sitting in a quiet room doesn't automatically equate to an organized, healthy life.
No, it definitely doesn't.
And the text gets right to that. It immediately pivots from the environment to the hardware, the physical body.
The transition from sleep to wakefulness is so critical here, and the source handles it with remarkable subtlety, I think.
How so?
Well, it doesn't suggest jumping straight into a high-intensity workout.
Right, yeah. The second step is simply to drink a glass of water after waking up, which the text says helps your body wake up and feel active. And the third step is do some light exercise or stretching, which keeps your body strong and fresh.
Let's focus on the water for a second.
Yeah, let's pause on that because we hear hydrate in the morning constantly. It's everywhere.
Well, it's the most common advice out there.
But thinking about it practically, it's like an old school water pump. You actually have to pour a little water down into the mechanism to prime the pump before it can start pulling water up from the well.
That's exactly it. Or consider the reality of what your body has just endured.
Right.
You have just completed an 8-hour fast. Your tissues are literally depleted of fluid. The cells are slightly shriveled.
Oh, wow. Shriveled.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when you drink that glass of water immediately upon waking, you're doing a lot more than just quenching a dry throat. You are sending a systemic biological signal.
Okay.
Water is the medium through which all your metabolic processes occur. So providing that hydration is the literal physical primer for your brain and your organs to shift out of their nocturnal power-saving mode.
Power saving mode. That makes the sequencing of the light exercise makes so much more sense.
It does, right. You prime the pump, then you move the machine.
Yeah. But I do have to push back on the terminology the source uses here because I feel like it might confuse some people.
Okay, maybe.
Well, the source says that doing light exercise or stretching keeps your body strong.
Right.
Now, if someone has a physically demanding job, or conversely, if they sit rigidly at a desk for 10 hours a day, is a 5-minute morning stretch actually moving the needle on their physical strength? Or is this purely a physiological placebo just to make us feel active before we sit back down?
I see what you're saying. It is absolutely not a placebo, but we do need to reframe how we interpret the word strong in this context.
Okay, unpack that for me.
The text is not talking about muscular hypertrophy.
Yeah.
It's not promising you're going to bench press more weight because you touched your toes at 5:30 a.m.
Right, obviously.
We have to look at the physiology of sleep. When you are asleep, you are paralyzed.
Literally?
Literally
Yeah.
paralyzed. Your blood pressure drops, your heart rate slows, and your fascia, the connective tissue wrapping your muscles, it literally stiffens up because it hasn't been mobilized.
You're just a dormant machine.
It's a completely dormant machine. And if you go straight from that horizontal, stiff, paralyzed state into a seated position in your car and then a seated position at your desk,
You're just locking it in.
exactly, you are cementing that stiffness into your posture. By introducing light stretching immediately after the hydration, you're using movement to push that fresh water and newly oxygenated blood into the tissues.
Oh, so the water from step 2 is getting pushed around in step 3.
Yes, you're lubricating the fascia. In this context, strong means resilient. It means your joints have a full range of motion. It means your posture is activated to support your spine for the day's normal demands.
It's an on switch.
Precisely.
You're manually flipping the breakers in your body from off to on.
And this explains a very common phenomenon, actually. This is why you can sleep for 10 solid hours. But if you wake up, skip the water, skip the movement, and just drag yourself to the coffee machine, you will still feel lethargic until noon.
Yes. Oh my gosh, I've had so many days like that.
We all have. Sleep inertia hangs around because you never sent the manual on signal to your body through hydration and mobilization. You have the quiet environment, but the machine is still operating in safe mode.
That is a massive insight for anyone listening who struggles with morning brain fog.
Mm,
You might be getting enough sleep, you just aren't booting up the hardware properly.
exactly. So,
We've mobilized the joints. Physical body is online.
check, check, check.
But a hydrated, stretched body, sit in a quiet room, still isn't enough to make a life organized and healthy, as the text promises. There's a missing link here, and this is where the source makes a really fascinating pivot.
It moves from the hardware to the software.
Right.
It moves to the mental state.
The fourth step in the text is to take a short walk outside or enjoy fresh air. And the stated benefit is that it helps your mind feel calm.
Which is so crucial.
And then, and only then, the fifth step is to plan your day. Think about what you want to do today.
The sequencing is everything.
I just love the mandate to go outside. It feels like hitting the refresh button on a web browser.
That's a really good analogy.
You're clearing the cache of whatever lingering stress or weird dreams you woke up with before you try to load a really complex new web page, which is the act of planning your day.
It functions exactly like clearing the cache, yes, but it's also about physical and visual space.
Mm-hmm.
Think about the physical act of being indoors.
Okay.
When you wake up and stare at the wall of your bedroom, or even worse, stare down at the screen of your phone, your brain is visually closed in.
Yeah, very restricted.
Your ocular focus is narrow. And neurologists tell us that this kind of narrow focal vision is actually tied to the sympathetic nervous system.
Wait, really? The fight or flight system?
Yes, it slightly elevates stress and alertness because it's the exact same visual mechanism our ancestors used to track a threat, like a predator.
Wow. So just by looking at a screen close to our face, we are subtly telling our brain to be on guard.
We're basically telling our brain, look out. But when you step outside, as the source insists, your visual field opens up.
You can see the sky, the trees.
You're looking at the horizon. You are engaging in panoramic vision.
Okay.
And panoramic vision is neurologically linked to the parasympathetic nervous system, the rest and digest state.
Oh, that's amazing.
The simple act of expanding your visual horizon physically lowers your heart rate and signals safety to the amygdala.
So it's a literal calming switch.
Yes. This is why the source can confidently state that taking a short walk outside helps your mind feel calm. It's a biological certainty.
Which makes the sequencing of the final step so incredibly vital.
So vital.
I want everyone listening to think about their current planning process for a second. Where and when do you figure out what you need to do today?
Usually it's in a rush.
Right. Are you mentally mapping out your entire day while you're still lying in bed staring at the ceiling?
Or staring at your phone.
Exactly. Are you doing it while you're frantically searching for your keys by the front door? Because we now know that means you're planning your day while your brain is either in a dormant state or a threat detection state.
And the order of operations here is everything. The source does not tell you to plan your day the second you open your eyes.
No, it doesn't.
It mandates the fresh air and the panoramic vision before the planning phase.
How does planning your day from a state of calm actually differ mechanically from planning it in a state of chaos? I mean, if the to-do list is the same, buy groceries, finish the report, call the bank, does the mindset really alter the outcome that much?
Oh, it alters everything about how your brain categorizes those tasks.
Really?
Absolutely. If you jump straight from waking up into running through your to-do list, you're engaging in defensive scheduling.
Defensively, okay.
Because you haven't established that psychological buffer we talked about earlier, your brain perceives all those tasks as stressors.
Oh, I see.
You're planning your day out of anxiety, figuring out how to avoid failure, or how to just survive the avalanche of obligations.
You're bracing for impact.
Exactly, you're bracing. But if you follow the sources sequence, if you wake up in peace, hydrate, move, and go outside to calm the nervous system, well, when you finally sit down to think about what you want to do today, you are engaging in offensive intentional scheduling.
Okay, the opposite.
Your brain isn't in threat detection mode. You're able to look at that exact same list of tasks, the groceries, the report, the bank, and approach them systematically.
You're not panicked about them?
No, you're operating from a proactive, grounded state. You prioritize better. You estimate time more accurately because you aren't blinded by panic.
So that is the bridge. That is how we get from these seemingly disconnected tiny habits to the massive claim at the end of the text.
It's the whole point.
The source concludes by saying, If you follow these simple habits every morning, your life will become more organized and healthy. And honestly, at first glance, it feels like a massive leap to say that drinking water and stepping outside for 5 minutes leads to an organized life.
It seems like a leap until you look at the compound effect of replacing reactivity with intentionality.
Yeah.
Because chaos in our lives rarely comes from one massive disaster, right? It comes from 1,000 tiny moments of
It's
reactivity.
reacting all day
It
long,
comes from constantly putting out fires, letting external circumstances dictate your schedule, and allowing other people's emergencies to become your priorities.
which is so draining.
It is. Organization and health, conversely, come from intentionality. By defining what you want to do today from a calm, physiologically regulated state, you take ownership of your time. You aren't just letting the day happen to you, you are happening to the day.
You're happening to the day. Wow, that is incredibly empowering. And it really does all stem from the elegance of this five-step routine.
It's remarkably elegant.
Let's just look at the sheer beautiful simplicity of what we've unpacked today.
Let's summarize it.
Okay, so we start by waking up into the quiet at 5 to 6 a.m. to establish a psychological buffer against the noise of the world.
Step one.
Right. Then we drink a glass of water to hydrate the cells and prime the biological pump.
To do.
Then we do light stretching to push that hydration through the fascia and flip the physical switch from dormant to active.
Which is step three.
After that, we get outside to expand our visual horizon and signal safety to the nervous system, calming the mind.
Step four.
And finally, step 5, from that fortified, calm state, we plan our day.
And you know what is truly remarkable here? What's missing from that list?
Yeah, what isn't there?
A life-changing morning routine doesn't require a gym membership. It doesn't require exotic supplements shipped from halfway across the world.
Or cold plunges.
Right, no cold plunges. It doesn't even require a massive time commitment.
Yeah.
It simply requires the discipline to honor these basic physical and mental transitions every single morning.
Yes, the transition.
Moving from sleep to wakefulness, from indoor confinement to outdoor expansion, from chaos to quiet, from reaction to intention. If you honor those transitions, the biology takes care of the rest.
It really is the ultimate antidote to the overcomplicated internet optimization culture we started this deep dive talking about.
It strips it all away.
You don't need all that gear. You just need a glass of water and the discipline to stand on your porch for 5 minutes.
Exactly.
But as we wrap up, it leaves me with a final, slightly provocative thought for you to ponder as you go about your day.
I like a provocative thought.
If these 5 incredibly simple habits are universally understood to make life more organized and healthy, why is it so hard for us to do them?
Oh, that is the real challenge. The simplicity is almost confronting.
It is confronting, because if a routine involves 30 steps and expensive equipment, and we fail to do it, we can blame the complexity.
Right, we have an excuse.
We can say we didn't have the time or the money, but you can't say you don't have water. You can't say you don't have air.
No, you can't.
So what does our daily resistance to these basics say about us? What does it mean when we choose to hit the snooze button to delay our lives? Or, immediately start scrolling on our phones to ingest the world's stress instead of giving ourselves the gift of a calm transition?
It suggests that sometimes sitting in silence with our own thoughts is actually much harder than distracting ourselves with complex tasks.
Wow, yeah.
We use the chaos of the morning as an excuse to avoid being present with ourselves.
Exactly. We use the noise to hide. So I want to leave you with this. What if the most radical, most deeply productive thing you can do for your life tomorrow morning isn't to add another highly optimized task to your calendar? What if the bravest thing you can do is simply to wake up, seek out 15 minutes of absolute quiet in the theater, and just breathe before the rest of the world wakes up and the noise begins? Test the thesis. See if your whole day really does feel better. We will catch you on the next deep dive.